What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. I'm Lemar. That's LJ. What the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about the NBA draft. There's very hurt feelings in the NBA draft. I think a lot of teams got it wrong, especially my team. But like I think the team that really got it wrong was Philly, and they got it wrong for a few reasons. I hope they live to regret it.
All right, well, let's get right into it. So, the first pick was DeAndre Ayton of Arizona. He went to Phoenix. And now, this is like a center heavy top 10 draft. and
Yeah, even though centers aren't really that valuable in today's NBA, especially the traditional center, the center that's a low post around the basket type of center. You need centers that are going to be more of a stretch four, that are going to shoot the ball and make threes and be able to shoot. So DeAndre Ayton, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to him because he's from the Pac-10 out there in Arizona. So he seems more like a traditional type of center, but what are they gonna do? What I mean? He's the best player who was available in the draft, so they had to pick him.
yeah. Well,
When you have a dominant big man.
I hear Marvin Bagley was like the best player in college, even though Ayton was gonna be the guy. I mean, that's what I've been hearing. Like up until like the week before the draft or whatever. That Bagley's actually the most. Like, so what position is he? Because when I looked it up, like it said he was a center, but I didn't think he was the center.
Well, Marvin Bagley was a center. He's 6'11", 235, which
Okay.
he's a traditional. Well, the modern um, center. 6'11", 230, he can shoot that type of center.
Okay.
That's why he was picked so high.
Right. Okay.
Because a lot of people like those stretch fours, like I just said. So, and Marvin Bagley the third, Marvin Bagley the third, he's one of those guys.
And he was picked number
Uh,
2 by Sacramento, just to let y'all know, if y'all didn't already know by now.
yeah, and number three was Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Now he was picked by Atlanta, but he was traded to Dallas later on
Right.
for
For Trey Young.
Trey Young. But Luka Doncic, is in Europe. He's really good in Europe. Apparently, I watched him play out there for whatever Lithuania, whatever the fuck team he's from. But he's pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? Like he can get to the basket, he can shoot. He actually a really good playmaker too. That's why they
Yeah.
were thinking about putting him at the point guard.
Right. He's not
But
that athletic, but yeah, he has a lot of skills, but he's just not athletic. He don't have like when you watch him on tape, he doesn't look like he's like athletic, but he definitely has a lot of skills. Right.
Yeah. He's definitely a skilled player. He was the guy that wanted the Knicks to draft at first, until we'll get to the Knicks in a minute.
Yes.
Uh, then we have Jaren Jackson Jr., who got drafted number 4 to
Memphis.
Memphis.
Yeah, I don't know
Uh,
anything about him. I mean, I heard his little bits and pieces about other people. He's one of the people I haven't heard nothing about.
he's pretty decent actually. He's a power forward. He has the potential to be a really good scorer. To be honest with you, Memphis definitely needs offense. They don't have anything.
Yeah, they have nothing.
So, so like he kind of fits into a place that needs scoring. Number 5, you got Trey Young, who got traded to Atlanta. Now, I think that he fits in with Atlanta more than he fit in with Dallas because they have Dennis Smith Jr.
You got to go to the glasses, y'all. It's getting serious
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I can't see shit.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap for y'all.
So, so Trey Young got immediately drafted. So I don't know what this does to Dennis Schroeder, wherever that Sambo looking Negro they have out there in
We'll
Atlanta is. I don't know what he is. He's from Germany or whatever.
yeah, we'll
But
see.
he looks like a Sambo. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Next pick we have Mohamed Bamba. He's from Harlem. That that is a guy that if we had the 5th pick, I would have liked.
Right, I would have liked him too. Right, right.
I
Yeah.
would have really liked him because when he spoke in the draft, when he was being interviewed by my girlfriend Maria Taylor, not Maria Hill, it's somebody else, but Maria Taylor. This dude was so well
I can
spoken.
probably guess who Maria Hill, what profession she's in, but go ahead.
Yeah, but he was so well spoken, and he's intelligent, and he knows exactly what role he's going to fill. He wants to be the Kevin Garnett, even though he's a center. He wants to be that Kevin Garnett, the guy who's playing defense, grabbing rebounds, blocking shots. So, and plus he can shoot. So he's defense first, and who can shoot, so he can develop his offensive game out there in Orlando. They got I don't know what they're going to do with the Lithuanian they have out there playing in center. Who's the center out there? I forgot the
Yeah, I
guy's
can't
name.
remember his name. We all know who he is.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. He's gonna take that guy's spot. But number 7, you got Wendell Carter Jr. He went to the Bulls. Now, I don't know much about Wendell Carter Jr.'s game. He played for Duke, and he was another center for Duke. So I don't know what he did, but I know one thing: the way he was dressed, he had on the ascot when he came up to the stage. I was actually feeling. I was like, "Yo, he official. He look like Black Panther up here." You know what I'm saying? So I was like, "Okay, I like that," but I know nothing about his game because I hate Duke. So I hope he crashes and burns in the NBA because I hate the Bulls too. So okay, Colin Sexton, number 8. I'm just kidding about that. I don't know Wendell Carter Jr. I hope he does well. Okay, Colin Sexton, number 8. They talk so well about this guy. I watched him in college. He's definitely a scoring point guard. Like that's definitely what he is. The dude can get to that basket. He can shoot. I'm not sure how much of a playmaker he is, but
Right. Yeah.
he
Based on the highlights I seen, because they like to show your best stuff. Like everything was scoring. There was no great passes that he made. That it was not like it was just basically he just looked like he just great. He just get buckets. So
yeah, and
Cleveland needs that.
his
Cleveland needs somebody to get
mentality
buckets.
shows that he'll just keep busting his ass. So that's a good pickup for Cleveland, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna
Um,
need somebody to fill that scoring when LeBron leave.
well, he basically said, "Hey, LeBron, you can stay." And LeBron's like, "Okay, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do regardless." Okay, but
Like say whatever you want, kid. Say what you
okay,
want.
rookie.
Say whatever you want. But let's
Okay, and
go.
then we got to number 9, Kevin Knox, and now okay, give you some background. Kevin Knox is not a bad player, but Michael Porter was available at this spot, and the Knicks needed a small forward. Now, I understand why they passed on him because he had an injury last year. He well, he
He actually has 2 injuries. He got a hip and he had the back surgery. So that's
yeah
the hip
he had a back
bothers him.
surgery. I know he had a hip flexor when he was actually practicing,
Mhm.
and that was earlier on in training, or early on this summer. He had a little bit of an injury, but the way I see it, um, he got picked later. If I'm the Knicks, we're not going to have Porzingis for the entire season.
No.
Like basically, he's not going to play until All Star break. So if I'm the Knicks, I'm not even going to play him.
Right.
Just let him sit on the bench for the entire season.
Right.
We're not hurting anybody but ourselves if we try to play this guy, and the season's already over. Season's already over because
Right.
we're not going to make the playoffs with
Like
our
we should
best
be
player.
going into the next season looking to tank. Like that next season
Yeah,
should be a tanking season for sure.
yeah. So this
Get
season
another
is
good
going to
draft
be
pick.
trying to get guys over. Trying to get Kevin Knox over, trying to get Frank Ntilikina over, trying to get some of these other guys over. But if Michael Porter Jr. was available and we pick him, we do the same thing that Denver did at 15 and just rest him for the entire season. It's a ninth pick. It's not like a number 2 or number 3 or
Right.
not five
It's
top
not a
five
lot
pick.
of.
It's
It's
a
not a
ninth pick.
huge risk in taking a guy of this talent. Yeah, I know he's got injuries and he's got 2 injuries so that makes him look injury prone. And I get it. Like I do get it. Like you said, I get why they didn't take him too. I would have took a chance on him. I mean, I'm over it. I'm hearing good things about Kevin Knox, so I'm over it. But I would have taken him. I would have took a chance. And I'm like, yo, he was gonna be the number 1 pick if not for these injuries. I'm like, he must be really damn good. And getting him at number 9 is a steal because it's like like if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. I can sleep at night knowing that they got the best player in the draft, whether it works out or not. Like he's supposed to be the best player, just go for him at number 9 and just live with the results. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Scare money don't make no money.
right,
It's all. That's what it's about.
right,
You
and
know,
then
so
on top
such
of
you got to
that,
make that. Such you got like just take it. Why don't the Knicks just take these things that fall into our lap? It's kind of like remember a few years ago. It was maybe like 10 years ago. Remember when they had the Allen Houston rule? And we didn't use the Allen Houston.
right, yeah, they still call it the Allen Houston rule, but they use it on Jerome Williams.
And that's the only reason they used the only reason they made the rule was because we had to get rid of the Allen Houston contract.
Right.
And they didn't use it on him. So I didn't get that. And I think it's because Isaiah Thomas really liked Jerome Williams. I was like, and that was stupid. But now to my point about Michael Porter Jr. If this guy becomes something, this will hurt. Like this will hurt like a lot. It won't hurt a little bit. It will hurt a lot. But like this, it's not like the first time this has happened for any guy in any franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like 12 teams didn't pick Kobe Bryant. Right. Charlotte traded him.
Right.
So
where did he get picked? He got picked at like number 8, right? Something like that.
No, he got picked 13.
Oh, he got picked 13.
Wow. Yeah, he got picked 13.
Wow.
So a lot of teams just went right by him, and I thought that was crazy. I know they live to regret it, but this is something that I don't want to happen. I don't want this. I don't want this albatross on my back. I really don't want it. But so I'm really hoping that Kevin Knox becomes that type of player.
Yeah, because it's not like drafting. I mean, it's not like signing a free agent for like $100 million and then regretting it. This guy, he's a rookie. He was at the 9th pick, and he was the best player. He was supposed to be the best player in this draft. So, and like you said, he's going to be out for the whole season. We could have tanked this whole season. Him and Porzingis could have came back together. And then we would have had we might have had a top 5 pick. We might have, coming into the season, we may get like a 5th or 6th pick. We have an even better pick next season. You know what I mean? So you come in, we get a top 5 player next season. You get Porzingis coming back. You get Porter coming back. We got a lot of money to spend under the cap. Like next year could have been even better.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like and I don't mean to shit on Frank Ntilikina, but imagine we drafted Dennis Smith instead of Frank Ntilikina. Then we got Dennis Smith. Right. Then we got Tim Hardaway Jr. and we got Michael Porter Jr. We got 3 juniors on the team already, right there. Then we got then we have Porzingis and Cantor. Excuse me, Cantor just
very unprofessional.
Cantor just opted out. I say we don't re-sign him. How about that?
Yeah, if he opts out, I don't want to resign him.
He already opted out.
Oh, he did opt out. Okay.
He opted out.
Are you sure? Because I'm
100% sure.
Okay, because I just saw like 2 days ago that he was still undecided whether he was going to opt out.
No, he opted out, and about 4 teams are looking at him. Okay. So the way I see it, let those guys take him. I have no problem with Cantor, but he's not really. You can't put him in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Porzingis still uses him as a crutch in terms of like rebounding. He doesn't go for the rebounds as much because Cantor's out there with him. And plus, don't mean it to be a Nick heavy discussion, but we drafted a center who would have been a 1st round pick if it wasn't for him just going home instead of playing for the team that he signed with last season.
The guy who signed, talking about our second round pick?
Our 2nd round pick,
Mitchell Robinson or something like that?
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. There you go. His story is...
Yeah, he was a top 10 recruit coming into college. Yeah, he's a top 10 recruit.
Yeah, what happened to him was he committed to one college, and then the coach for that college left before the season started. So he took back his commitment to that, and he went to that guy's school. Then he got homesick and just went home, and then he just decided to work out with a personal trainer for the entire season.
Hmm.
So that's why. So he didn't play a game in college.
He
That's
didn't even
why
play
he
in
dropped.
college?
He didn't play.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
he may have played like one. No, he may have played like 1 or 2 games. I'm sorry, he may have played like one or
Okay.
two games.
Okay.
He didn't get hurt or anything like that. He just
Wow, he just did
left.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. That's a little bizarre.
Yeah, that's a little bizarre, but a second round pick. I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, as far as that, I don't care. But just that story in itself was just like, wow, I didn't know about that. That's a little bizarre story. But yeah, I don't care. He's a second round pick, and I heard that he might be, he could be the steal of the draft. I did hear that. So all right, cool. Like that's fine by me. Like just go ahead, take a chance. With the second round pick, take a chance on anybody. I'll take the just I look at second round picks as like you pick a guy who's really good at one thing. He could be the best shooter left, or the best rebounder left, or the best shot blocker left. You just take him. You know what I mean? Like just take the best, like whatever he is, whatever somebody does really well, or the best defensive player left. Just whatever you need. Just look at the board and say who's left, and just take the guy who really excels at least one thing. Because a lot of those guys don't make it anyway. So it's like you might as well get a specialty guy who might excel at what he does really well if you put him in the right situation. So that's how I look at the second round.
Yeah. All right. Well, we talked about the Knicks enough.
Yeah.
But at number 10, Philadelphia actually picked up the guy they were supposed to pick, Mikal Bridges.
All the stars lined up.
Yeah, all the stars lined up. His mother works for the organization. By the way, his mother's fine. Yeah, I make him a little brother if he wants. But anyway, Mikal Bridges got drafted to the 76ers. That was perfect. It was he was a 4-year starter. Then they traded him. So, and I don't understand it. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, his mom worked there. He was born and raised, played in college there, played high school there, got drafted there. And then they said, you know what? We're just gonna screw this whole thing up for you.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Number one, they had the need for that.
Yeah,
that was a need for them. That Ben Simmons is a small forward as a body.
Size, right? In size, he is, but
yeah, but he's not a small forward. He's a point guard.
Right.
So, that was a missing piece right there.
Yeah, that was crazy.
A hustle guy, like he's not an all-star, but he's a hustle guy who could do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, they traded.
I don't know.
They traded him to Phoenix for Zaire Smith, a shooting guard.
Yeah, Zaire Smith. He's from Texas Tech. He's 6'4", 200. He's one of those guys. They said, "Oh, he's gonna be a scorer." I'm like, what does? I don't understand. What does Philly need with that when they got all these guys? Like, okay, so where are you gonna put Markelle Fultz at?
They're shopping him. They're shopping him out here, and they got him working with a shooting specialist now. And that guy said, "This is what I heard today."
I'll take him.
I'll take him too. The shooting guy is saying today, he was like, "Yeah, I thought it was gonna take up to like 6 weeks before we start seeing real results." He was like, "We're already seeing results after 2 weeks or whatever." So I'm like, "Okay, all right, well, let's go for him," because I'm rooting for him. It's weird. That's another bizarre story where he just got the yips. Basically, you don't know. He just.
I never heard of that.
Huh?
I never heard that term. I never heard that term before.
The yips? No. It's a baseball term mostly. You know what that is? Usually when a pitcher can't throw to first, they call it the yips. Or when Chuck Knobloch couldn't throw to first, he could throw. You could throw like when you're not thinking about it, you could fire it in there. But for some reason, the real simple throw to first base, they can't do. So they call it the yips. I can't think of the pitcher in the league now. I believe he plays for Boston. Or he used to play for Boston. He has that issue. He just can't. He's a great pitcher, but he can't throw to first. So what they do is they bunt. A lot of people they like to bunt on him because he cannot make, for some reason, he just can't make that play to first. He overthrows it by a mile. It's funny, but it's fucked up. Like you look at him like, damn, that's like. It's all mental though, because he can pitch. He's a pitcher. He's a great pitcher. He can throw it to home with zip on it, with a curveball, with a fastball, with English on it. But he can't make, like, people steal on him all the time because he can't make the throw. It's another bizarre story. But they call that the yips. Yeah, so he basically, that's basically kind of what Well, Markel Fultz has it's mental. He's ever since the injury because it's not physical anymore. Like he's totally healed. They said,
It's
but
mental.
it's all mental. Yeah, he's just forgot how to shoot. So, but yeah, they said they're working with him or whatever. So we'll see. And I would take a chance on him too. I'll give him I'll give y'all 2 second-round picks for him. Because you can't get a lot. You can't be expecting a lot for him. You know what I mean? Like the man can't shoot. Like he's broken. We'll give y'all 2 second-round picks and we'll put them back together. Like that's how I look at it. Like he can't be worth a lot. I know he was a first-round pick, but he's not playing like it. So
No.
don't give him quality for him.
Well, I'm gonna pretty much just go through the I'm not going to go through the whole first round. That's fucking crazy. I'm just gonna go through the next few, like just some things that I noticed. All right, for 11, Charlotte drafted Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now he's a 6'6" point guard from Kentucky, and they traded him to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Clippers drafted Miles Bridges. That's a guy who's like 6'6", 220, and they put him as small forward. You know, he reminds people of Draymond Green. Came from the same school as Draymond Green.
Mm.
You know, they traded him. So, and then they traded him to Charlotte. So, then the 13th pick, the Clippers had picked again. They picked another point guard, Jerome Robinson. So now they have 2 point guards in a row. I don't understand. Like,
they have listed. I mean, I don't know what he is because I didn't watch it. But when I was looking up the draft stuff, they got him listed as shooting guard. So Jerome Robinson. So I don't know, like, because that's what I have down here. Like he's a shooting guard. So that's why I was asking. That's why I was asking about Bagley because up until I looked up these the draft, I thought he was like a power forward. But then they said they got him listed as center. And they got, this guy listed as shooting guard, Jerome Robinson. I was like, okay. But I was also hearing that he was a point guard also.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could put him as shooting guard. Maybe he's a good scorer. I have no idea. But that leads us to Michael Porter, Denver. You're wearing a Denver jersey now.
Yeah.
So Michael Porter, he has the potential to be the best player in this draft. And people compared him to, like, Kevin Durant.
Because
this is by your boy Jay Williams, who
my boy.
So okay, I gave him a lot of credit for breaking this down, but then immediately I watched him compare Kobe and say, what did he say about? No, he said LeBron was better than Michael Jordan and he could beat him 1-on-1. And I said, okay, well, all right.
And see, my thing is, I'm not gonna say he's ridiculous for thinking about it. I think he's ridiculous in thinking how far-fetched, how he thinks that there's no conversation. Like he thinks it's like LeBron's way better, and this is coming from a LeBron fan. Where no, it's not like no. I'm giving Jordan the edge. First of all, second of all, like anybody who thinks that LeBron is way better is ridiculous. You know what I mean? And that's how he was making it sound like LeBron is way better than Jordan. Like, all right, he's losing a lot of credibility talking like this. You can think he's better, but to make it seem like it's not even close, I'm like, all right, Jay Williams.
Yeah, and that brings me to another point. Well, we're going to talk about Kobe Bryant versus LeBron because I'm getting a lot of that on Facebook or these social media basketball groups, and these guys saying these Kobe sexuals saying that Kobe's so much better than LeBron because he has 5 rings. I was just like, okay, he didn't even lead his team for the first 3 rings.
Yeah.
Was he the best player on his team?
Exactly.
Okay, and then they use the excuse saying, oh, well, what happened with LeBron against the Mavericks? I was like, what happened with Kobe against that same Mavericks team?
Exactly. The same season. By the way, what happened to Kobe in Game 7 against Phoenix? What happened to Kobe Game 7 against Boston? Like he has games where he was not clutch in big moments. He played in 2 big Game 7s and did not show up. like Phoenix when they were up against Phoenix 3-1 and then they came back, he didn't even want to shoot, trying to prove a point to Phil Jackson. I don't know what happened with him and Phil Jackson, but he refused to shoot. So I'm like, all right. And again, the reason why LeBron gets scrutinized so much is because of how great he is. Like Kobe didn't get scrutinized as much. Like Kobe, because he was never considered the greatest. Like he was never in the conversation as the greatest player of all time. That's why he doesn't get scrutinized that much. Like because it's like LeBron gets scrutinized that much because you're comparing him to Michael Jordan. So that's the difference. Like all of a sudden they're trying to put Kobe in this conversation. I'm like, no, he doesn't belong in this conversation.
Kobe doesn't belong in this conversation, and like now he's a top he's a top 15 player of all time.
Yes.
When I put him in top 10, I don't know about that.
Yeah. By the way, one day we are going to do our top 10. After we do all of our individual, positions, we're going to do our top 10 players of all time. And he's close to 10. Just thinking on top of my head.
I'll say he's 11.
Yeah, he's right around 10. Like he's right around there, but like I said, that's for another time. But yeah, it's like come on y'all. Like when he didn't have Phil Jackson, he couldn't make the playoffs. And when he did he made the playoffs one time, I believe, under Rudy T, and he was the 7th seed. Like you can't. There's no comparison.
And he was in his prime.
Right, he was right smack dab in the middle of his prime. There's no comparison. And then they're saying, and then the other argument they're saying, and this has nothing to do with who's better, but they still throw this argument in there. Oh, he didn't have to leave his team. Like he tried to leave his team. The only reason why he didn't leave his team is because they traded Shaq. Yeah. He was leaving. He was gonna leave, but they traded Shaq. So they chose him. So he didn't have to leave. And by the way, he doesn't have to leave anyway because he's the greatest organization in basketball. Like LeBron's not in the greatest organization. LeBron made it great, but Kobe fell into a situation where he was with Shaq. He was with the best organization, and everybody wants to play LA, and everybody loves Jerry West. Everybody loves that organization. That organization is the best. So there's no reason to leave that organization. So it's not fair to even say he didn't have to leave. Like, no, he didn't have to leave because we're the best damn team. Like, it's the best organization. So
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he was in a spot where like they pretty much capitulated to him. They gave him whatever he wanted. He got Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson. Then Phil Jackson got all these other guys here. You got Paul Gasol. You got Andrew Bynum. They drafted Andrew Bynum. They got Ron Artest, Lamar Odom. And they're actually winning. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like LeBron when he got drafted. He came to a team with no talent whatsoever.
Right.
Like nothing. You know what I'm saying?
They were the worst team in the NBA.
And when he left the first time, after he left, they sucked.
They became the worst team again.
Yeah, like it wasn't even close. Like he was putting them as the number 1 seed. Right. And then when he left, they were the worst team in the league. Right. So with Kobe.
So what? The year they had Wiggins. I mean, the year they drafted Wiggins, that was number 1 pick, right?
That's number 1 pick.
So they had so in 4 years that LeBron wasn't there, they had the number 1 pick 3 times, didn't they? Because
they had number 1. They had
Bennett. Because they drafted Bennett. Was he number 1?
They drafted Kyrie Irving. They drafted Bennett, and they drafted Wiggins. They had 3 number 1 picks
in the 4 years that he was not there. And he comes back, and then all of a sudden they're back in the finals again. Yeah, the only argument that's valid to me, I mean, and it still doesn't say that Kobe's better. The only valid argument I have is that the East is weak and LeBron is dominating a pretty weak conference, but still, no, it doesn't matter who his coach is, it doesn't matter who his teammates are. He's gonna get that. That team is gonna be a contender. Now he needs better teammates to win the championship because you're playing against Golden State and the Spurs or whatever. Like you're playing against two historically great teams now. Like Greg Popovich and the Warriors, the Spurs and the Warriors were 2 great teams. So he had trouble beating those 2 teams. Yes, the Dallas thing happened, and I'm not running away from that. That was all him. But outside of that, he went up against great teams and lost, and he also got at least one out of them. Kobe beat them. Kobe beat Spurs, lost to the Spurs. They were rivals with him. But when Shaq was there, they were great. Man, and then when they rebuilt that team, Kobe was great.
Shaq was the man on that team. Let's not forget this. Kobe. Kobe came into the league with a dominant number one guy,
Right.
where he was a number two.
Right.
When was LeBron ever the number two guy on any team?
He wasn't number two. Like when he was born, he was the number one guy.
Yeah. You know, like LeBron is always going to be the best player in the team. You can't say the same thing about Kobe.
Right.
You know, and what did Kobe do? And what you go and also, I have a few points actually. LeBron had Mike Brown, went to the championship. When Kobe had Mike Brown, he stared fucking daggers into him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he didn't do shit with Mike Brown. He didn't do shit with D'Antoni.
That's,
you know what I'm saying? What would
that's
what
a great
that
point because I never thought about that. They both have Mike Brown.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and remember that all-time great team with Steve Nash and Kobe and D'Antoni with
Dwight Howard.
all these with Dwight Howard. What did they do? Nothing. Do you think
Did they make the playoffs?
Now put LeBron on that team. What do they do? That team?
Exactly. Now, another one. One more. I don't want to get you off your point, but another one. Like, I can't remember what my point was. Carry on until I remember what it was.
Yeah. And I give you another goddamn point. All right.
Okay.
People actually said, "Oh well, LeBron's not a good teammate." I was like, "And Kobe was, huh? Really?"
Yo,
really? You think Kobe's a good teammate? Really? Okay. Let's bring up Sasha Boyachich. Let's bring up Smush Parker. Let's bring up Dwight Howard. Let's bring up Shaq. Let's bring up how many fuck? Huh?
I said you got to be kidding me. That's like they actually say that. Too.
I said that I actually had to argue with it. I was just like, really? I was like, when were you born? Really? Like, were you born in like 2008 or some shit?
Yeah, I'm like, what?
Kobe's a good teammate. Really? Who has ever called Kobe a good teammate?
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Like the only person that liked Kobe was like Derek Fisher. Like they're best friends. Besides that,
because I think Derek Fisher probably fucked Kobe's wife. So that's why
probably.
He's a big guy.
He's like never leave. Yeah, what's that guy doing?
Derek Fisher just married
Matt Barnes' ex-wife. Matt
he
Barnes. Matt Barnes gonna kill that man, but he needs to get over. Huh? He's the thug. Oh hell yeah! He needs to just get over that situation.
He needs to get over it. Yeah. You got divorced. She found somebody else. Like, get over it.
Yeah. Like it's insane. Like how people. I mean, look. I mean, now if you're a Laker fan saying it's whatever, you're biased. But if you're a non-Laker fan saying that, like, come on now, watch the game, bro. Like, watch the game. Like LeBron. It doesn't matter. Like who's he at? Yeah, Mike Brown took him to the finals. He took, what's the guy he had when he came back to Cleveland from overseas?
I forgot the guy's name. I forgot the guy's name too.
All right, well him, David Blatt.
Yeah, Blatt. There you go.
He took him to the finals. He took Tyronn Lue to the finals. He took Eric Spoelstra to the finals. These are all mediocre at best coaches.
Spoelstra. That's why I tell the guy. I was like, who would you rather have, Phil Jackson or goddamn Eric Spoelstra?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like a Tyronn Lue. Like right. Imagine him with a better coach. You know what I'm saying? Like this Kobe thing is just ridiculous. Like I was just like, all right, I'm not trying to take away anything Kobe did.
Right, and it kills me.
Shooting guard.
And it makes me look like I hate Kobe, but I don't. I love Kobe. Kobe is the shit. Like Kobe was my favorite player before LeBron came around. Like, but it's just ridiculous.
You have to be realistic when it comes to Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't very efficient.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He took bad shots. You know what I'm saying? Like,
very low
percentage. And to be honest, like he was kind of a streaky shooter.
Yeah.
Throughout his entire career, you know what I'm saying? Like he tried to be like Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan, like there were times when Michael Jordan for an entire season would average 56% field goal percentage, and that's ridiculous for a guard.
Right? Especially then. Like now a lot of guards could shoot around 50% or whatever. But then in the 90s when it was, defense was better and you could do hand checks, it was like guards were to shoot that high percentage. So yeah.
And LeBron, what did he average this year? 56 fucking percent. Right, okay? And
he shot more jump shots
this year. It's not 10 dunks a game either.
Right. He shot a lot of jump shots this year. he was a high
Now,
percentage 3-point shooter for like.
for the first time, he had a
Right.
better. As a matter of fact, we're gonna get to the MVP talk in a minute, but
Yeah.
maybe he should have got MVP again. You know, like maybe he should have got it over James
The
Harden.
only, reason why I say he shouldn't have gotten it is because they were like a fourth seed. You know what I mean? Like when you're the best player in the league and you're fourth seed in the East in the regular season. Now, I mean, and I granted, I think, you know, he wants to kind of take it easy throughout the season nowadays. It's just like kind of how Golden State kind of just, you know, slept through the season because they know that they're gonna be. They know, like the Bulls used to do it, by the way. After they won that 70 games, they were just taking it kind of easy after those two seasons after that. Like they were like they knew that they knew how good they were. It's hard to stay motivated like that when you're that great. So like when you know you're way better, it's just hard to stay motivated like that. So yeah, I mean they probably could have had a better record, but it is a regular season award. So I will say, all right, he didn't get it because they were a fourth seed, and I really honestly don't believe in giving a fourth seed team, you know, a player from a fourth seed team MVP. Like I didn't like that Russell Westbrook got MVP last year. I didn't like if he didn't average the triple double, he wouldn't have gotten it. But they're going with that stat, so it's like I don't care about averaging triple double. It was a cool thing to do, but you don't deserve MVP for it. And he did carry the team. I'm not saying he didn't, but if your team is,
I think when you get triple double, you do carry the team.
yeah, he's definitely carried the team. But I'm thinking like if you're not a top 2 or 3 seed, mostly top 2, but I'll even accept the top 3 seed in your conference, then I don't think you should get an MVP. That's just one of my personal criterias. That's just always how I looked at it. But
yeah, I kind of agree with that. That his triple double average didn't faze me at all. Like no. I wasn't really that impressed by it. I was like, okay, because he goes for stats though.
I was semi-impressed. I was impressed by it. Bless you. I was impressed by it, and it was cool. It was a cool thing to see. I was rooting for him to actually do it, but that being said, I still didn't care that much. Like it was just a cool thing to just see that somebody did it. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like something that I was like, oh, he had another one. You know what I mean? Like I didn't really care that much. I wanted to see it happen, but I was just like, whatever.
Say that again, yeah.
Shut up.
Okay, but we're gonna get to a little bit more basketball. Okay, I'm gonna end the Kobe thing right now. This one guy who's one of my friends on Facebook, who's in that group. He's a friend from a political group who is in this group. Who actually, now you like one of those comments where he said, "Oh, Kobe's better at low post shooting and mid range shooting," and I said, I had to say, like, listen, he just takes the most shot. Doesn't mean he's more accurate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just because he does that, it was because he did that little step back fadeaway like Jordan did. Like, it went in 40% of the time. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, which, you know what I'm saying? Like, like with Jordan, that shit was automatic. You know, right. But with Kobe, it's like,
Yeah. I mean, and look, if you're gonna ask me who's the better scorer, I would say Kobe. He can score in more ways. LeBron is a more efficient scorer, but Kobe's Kobe looks better when he scores. You know what I mean? like Kobe makes more difficult shots. He has better range. His degree of difficulty on the shots is off the charts.
It's a degree of difficulty. You know what? Not a degree of difficulty because he shoots over 3 fucking people.
Right. He likes to shoot over he
doesn't play winning basketball.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like he would rather take that shot than pass the ball. And LeBron's different that way, where he plays winning basketball.
Right. And if it wasn't for Phil Jackson, he doesn't win any titles. Like
if it wasn't for Phil Jackson, he doesn't even get.
He's like a better. He would be considered almost like a Tracy McGrady if he never had a Phil Jackson caliber coach. Like he would just be like a really really high end Hall of Fame player that would probably get criticized because I don't think he ever wins. I really don't. And people gotta think this is blasphemous, but I wonder how many championships Jordan wins if he didn't luck up and get Phil Jackson. I wonder how many championships he gets. I wonder if has a similar career as say LeBron, to where because he's great enough to carry a team. I'm not saying he can't. He's no Kobe. He can do. He's great, but I do wonder how his career would have ended up had he not lined up with a Phil Jackson in Chicago.
Well, I think it's the opposite. I think that how many championships will Phil have won? Because number one, if Phil never goes to the Bulls, he never wins a championship with that fucking triangle. You know what I'm saying? Like he won't even get the opportunity to coach the Lakers to win those championships without having coached Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Jordan would have won regardless. You know, I'm a firm believer that he would have won championships regardless. Like maybe he wouldn't have got bored and left so quickly. Maybe he would have had a rivalry with somebody if it was a different coach. Say if it was, who knows, who was the coach back then? I don't know. If it was Pat Riley, then he wins those championships.
He would have still won championships with Pat Riley. He would have won.
He would have won with Pat Riley. He would have repeated. He would have did the same shit. But if it was like another coach, a lesser coach, maybe I think he would have won. But I think they whoever Phil Jackson would be coaching on the West Coast, they would have a rivalry with Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So those 2 years that Jordan was out, you know, maybe he stays, and maybe they have a little rivalry with somebody in the West. Maybe it's Jordan and the Bulls versus Hakeem and the Rockets every other year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's those guys going back and forth. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I'm saying Jordan wins. I'm saying Jordan would have won a championship. That's not. I just believe that wholeheartedly. Like some guys are just winners.
I think that
guy is just one.
Well, I look at him as how kind of. That's what I'm saying. Like I think it would be similar to what LeBron is going through, because LeBron has 3 and he's been there 6 times. I think it would be something similar to that, to where he could get there a lot and he could be right there a lot because of how great he is, but without the right coach and the right team around him, he would fall short more often than he did with Phil Jackson as the coach and with Chicago as a good organization that he was with.
Well, to be honest with you, Chicago's not really a good organization. You know what I'm saying? They
lucked up on Jordan and Phil Jackson.
What you call like that was a lucky thing, because Phil Jackson, nobody was really pining for Phil Jackson. He almost went to Europe. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that was his first coaching job ever.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Like he kind of lucked out to where he got Jordan. That's what I'm saying. Like he lucked out. Like otherwise it'd be Doug Collins. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like Doug Collins is letting Jordan score. Okay, go score 40 points a game.
Right, but see that's another point. Like, because I think Jordan. That's why I think Jordan was just as lucky, because Phil Jackson had to show him that you can score all the points you want, but you know you're not gonna you're not winning that way. Do you want to score points?
I don't think that was. Whenever I heard Jordan's mentality, he always wanted to win. You know, it wasn't about scoring the points. He always wanted to beat you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was kind of like that. Like he's not the mentality of guys back then, especially with Michael Jordan. It wasn't about like he was actually looking at the scoring title, but that wasn't the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's how he thought he was going to win, though. So I know what you're saying. Like, I'm not trying to say that he didn't want to win, because I knew that was the driving force of Michael Jordan. What I'm saying is Phil Jackson showed him how to do it. You know what I mean? Like Jordan won. I know Jordan won.
How would Phil Jackson know if he never did it? You
know
what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
He was a successful player. I mean, he was on a winning championship team as a player, and he had a career. You know what I mean? It's not like
so was Doug Collins. He was with the Celtics.
Well, Phil Jackson's smarter than Doug Collins.
well, at the time, who would know that? You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? I think that
right. I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, yeah. But once he got there, he's the one that told Jordan, "Do you want to keep winning, scoring a lot of points, or do you want to win?" So Jordan, and it's not. And I'm not saying that Jordan didn't want to win.
I really don't think
he's the one that
showed down like that.
That is how. That's the story.
To be honest, I don't think it because like you had guys like Pippen who came in. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bulls weren't really that good under Doug Collins. You know what I'm saying? They were scoring, but they needed somebody else.
Right. They
So
needed Pippen.
so you know what I'm saying? Like Jordan had to score 37 points a game in order to even compete. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to get to the playoffs. He was a young player, so wanted to get to the playoffs. They needed somebody, so they actually traded and got Pippen because he was a match for Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, they both athletic.
Who
They
drafted him?
pretty
Seattle
much the same
drafted
thing.
him or something like that.
Seattle drafted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seattle drafted him, number 4 or 6 or something like that. But yeah, like that was what they did. You know what I'm saying? Like, with with Phil. With Phil, like even with that stupid triangle offense, you know what I'm saying? Like Jordan only had one fucking thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So Jordan had to sacrifice doing everything instead of doing one thing. You know what I'm saying? So he was just the scorer. That was what he was. He and Pippen pretty much did everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what that whole triangle is about. And the ball went through Jordan, but with the spacing, Pippen can get the ball sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like so everyone was happy. You know what I mean? It just worked out that way. And no one can say like no one can teach Jordan how to win because Phil Jackson didn't know how to win. They learned how to win together. This system helped them win those championships, and Phil learned, okay, this system works for me, but I need this in order for the system to work. Yeah, I need really great players for the system to work. That's why he was reluctant to go to LA, but then he was like, you know what, I gotta go to LA. You got two guys averaging 28 points a game. You know what I'm saying? Why not go to LA? Now Kobe's mentality is not like Jordan's. He's imitating Michael Jordan, but his mentality is not like Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Kobe's mentality is score, 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 and that's it. It's not about win, win, win. It's about score, score, score.
I'm going to disagree with that. I mean, I think it's both. I think like his whole career. I mean, because I think he had that same winning thing that Jordan had, but I think he just wanted to do it through scoring more than Jordan did. Jordan could trust his teammates a lot more than Kobe did. That's the only difference. Kobe just wanted to do it himself. Kobe just felt more comfortable doing it himself, and Kobe just had that much confidence in his ability. But I think he wanted to win just as bad as anybody that ever played the game. I just think he just did it a different way, slightly different way. He just had more confidence in his ability, and he just didn't trust his teammates as much as Jordan did.
Yeah. He didn't trust anybody as much as Jordan. He had more of an. It's hard to say. It's hard to say this, but he might have had more of an ego than Jordan, because, but that's the thing. Jordan doesn't talk that much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what Jordan's thinking, except for the fact that his ego is maybe his ego is so big he doesn't even give anybody respect to talk to. He just talks shit and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Being a Knicks fan, just seeing Jordan on the court, like waving goodbye when he eliminated from the play, maybe want to punch him in the fucking face so hard, like that always hurts so bad. Like, why can't I just beat this fucking guy?
And he used to hang out with Barkley and Ewing and them. Yo, don't nobody talk to him no more. Don't none of them talk to him no more.
Well, Jordan's kind of a billionaire, so he's in the clouds doing that. Right. He's doing one thing. Like he's so above them. He's like the president.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Like he's so far above these guys that they come to him like Godfather. You know what I'm saying? Like he invites them to those little things that he has in North Carolina, those little golf course, those little events, and they better not say a fucking bad word about him, or they're off the list. That's it.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like wherever he says happens. You know what I'm saying? Like he can go to David Silver and say, okay, I think you should give Patrick Ewing a job, and Patrick Ewing gets a job. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's just how things work. You know what I'm saying? Jordan is his own thing. You know, Kobe, as he's been retired, he kind of is doing the Hollywood thing.
Kobe started selling himself heavy before he retired.
Kobe Kobe's more of a down to earth type of person than Jordan is.
Right.
Jordan,
Oh yeah, big time.
Jordan is not down to earth. Jordan is so much above everyone else.
Yeah.
Like I can't approach Jordan and have me relate to Jordan because
Yeah.
I've heard the things that Jordan does to people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan's not a good person to hang around if you're a regular person.
Right. He will remind you every minute that he's better than you. Like he will make sure you know that he's better than you.
Yeah, and I'll never forget that story that the Child Millionaire, where that rapper said about Michael Jordan. That remember Child Millionaire? You make me roll.
Chameleon.
Yeah, Child Millionaire. Whatever. Did you ever hear the story?
I do. I don't remember it, but I do remember a story about him and Jordan.
Yeah. Okay. As a matter of fact, Jordan was sitting there with somebody else and Spike Lee, and Chameleon saw him at like some kind of event. He came up to him like, "Jordan, you're my favorite player." Michael Jordan was like, "Who is this nigga?" And he was like, "Oh, it's a rapper." And he was like, "You better get the fuck out of here," and all this other shit. Like, and like he looked at Spike Lee like, "Is this guy joking?" And Spike Lee was just like, "Nah." He was like serious. That's like Jordan just does things like that to people, and like he's like Jordan's not a good person off the court. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like from everything I've heard, he's not a good person off the court. Yeah. Now Kobe on the other hand is a down to earth guy who chills with his family. You could like you know what I'm saying, like you see him like putting all types of shit on Facebook or on social media, like he's really into his kids. He's much more personable, especially after the rape case.
Yeah, yeah, kind of had to be after that.
You know, he's not really that much of a friendly guy. I heard to a lot of he doesn't have a lot of friends.
Yeah. As far as in the locker room, yeah, like. He didn't hang out with his teammates like that. The only person we know that he was cool with was Derek Fisher. Besides that, like he didn't really like.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't see Kobe like chilling with a bunch of people. You know what I'm saying? He's not like social, and he would be the first person to say that because he didn't get on social media until like almost his last season in the league.
Right. And
his first tweet was, "Oh, the anti-social is on social media." That's his first tweet. So he's just not that type of person. Right. But LeBron is completely different from both of them.
Right. He's
in a way that he off the court he's a great person.
Right. LeBron is Magic Johnson. He likes he likes to bring everybody together. You know what I mean? Like he has that same similar type of thing with Magic where. I mean, he doesn't have the charisma that Magic Johnson has. Magic Johnson has 100% charisma. Like if you had attributes, his charisma would be at 100%. like LeBron doesn't have the charisma.
his defense would be at like 20.
But LeBron has that similar type of thing where he wants to bring everybody around him together. Like he wants to make everybody better. He likes to elevate people around him. But so yeah, like Jordan and Kobe are just got that you know what they say, that killer instinct thing where it's just like all they care about is winning. All they care about like LeBron cares about winning, but LeBron cares about getting everybody in, like including everybody.
He cares about getting everybody involved. Right. You know,
and
like
he cares
off
about
the
making
court.
the right play. Like Kobe and Jordan just care about hitting a shot. Like you know what I mean? Like they care about. I mean, Jordan cared about making the right play also, but like. Kobe, like the right play is me scoring. That's Kobe.
That's Kobe. Like LeBron off the court, he's friends with a lot of NBA players. He's friends with you know what I'm saying. Everybody heard about the Banana Boat crew with him and Chris Paul and
Carmelo
and
Wade.
And Wade, yeah, you know what I'm saying. They're real close. They go out together. And they, you know what I'm saying, they just have
and during the all season, he works out with a bunch of. He works out with other stars during the all season all the time. Even the people that didn't know that he was that tight with, like he just works out with. Like he just does that. I think he worked out with Ben Simmons one summer. Like that's just what he does. Like he works out with players. He bring that's and people don't like that. Like the old school, our generation and back don't really like that. Like they think that he's supposed to always be enemies with everybody. I'm like, all right, that's the old generation. This generation's different. I I don't mind that mentality that everybody likes. Like, cause I'm kind of, I'm from that too. I watched '90s basketball, and they weren't friends like that. They were well, they were all like rivals. So I get it. But it's a new generation. I'm not against what LeBron does. I'm not against how a lot of these young guys are friends because they played on the McDonald's. There was an AAU together and all that. Like they all know each other. They're all. That's just the way the NBA is now. And and live with it. That's what it is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to hate each other in order to play. You know what I'm saying? Like
they all still want to win.
Yeah, but this is also a generation where guys kiss each other on the lips before the game. You know what I'm saying? Right in the middle of the court. So like those guys can say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see LeBron doing that shit.
Right.
Once LeBron pucker up and go to Chris Paul, and then we got problems. And we got a little bit. I'm like, whoa, no.
Let's see how soccer is now.
No, man.
All right, let's.
You got to push beer back to.
All right. Anyway. So I heard a couple things. I'm just gonna touch on a few things. I don't even want to get really into this stuff because we just harped on about two subjects for like an hour.
I know.
But Chris Paul. They're talking about he's recruiting LeBron, but I also heard that he does not want to come to Houston. And I also heard Chris Paul doesn't want to go back to LA. He wants to stay in Houston. So it doesn't look like that's gonna work.
He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go to the Lakers.
Chris Paul. Yeah,
Chris Paul. He's okay.
That's what I'm hearing. He. I guess he figured he got so close to Houston, he don't really want to kind of start over. But I'm like, yo, go where LeBron goes.
I actually didn't hear that. I heard that he doesn't mind going back to LA. Yeah.
I heard that he doesn't. I heard that he doesn't really want to leave Houston, but I heard he's heavily recruiting LeBron to come to Houston. But I also heard that LeBron doesn't really want to come to Houston. And then James Harden
LeBron's
said,
gonna go back to Miami. That's what I think. Just go back to Miami.
Yeah, hey, I still got that in the back of my mind. Not as strongly as I thought about a month ago, but I still kind of think that that's a possibility. Like Pat Riley may have something up his sleeve because he doesn't have any like contracts that are holding him down. Really, you know what I mean? Like he could just as well try to get Paul George, LeBron, or Kawhi Leonard. I don't know if they have the assets for Kawhi Leonard, but I don't think anybody really wants to take a chance on Kawhi Leonard anyway because he's only got 1 year left in his contract and he wants to go to the Lakers. So. But
the guy wants to go to the Lakers, so let him go to the fucking Lakers. Like these, I have no idea. Like what? So I guess it's just because it's the Lakers. I mean, okay. I think he'll ever win a championship again if it's just him going to the Lakers. No, I don't think.
If he just goes to the Lakers, yeah. And see, and some people are starting to think that he might even stay in Cleveland for 1 more year and wait till next season to see. Because right now there is no perfect situation. Like, I think if he stays with Cleveland and if Boston's healthy, then he's not going to go back to the finals unless they make some kind of trade or something. But I think that Boston will beat them next time if they're healthy in the playoffs. But I don't think there's a perfect place for him right now. Like unless the Lakers do make that trade for Kawhi Leonard and or Chris Paul goes there, then all right, like then that's the team right there. Then they got a shot. But things would have to happen because I hear Paul George, the Paul George thing. I don't know if that's gonna happen right now because it looks like he may stay. They said Westbrook is pushing hard to keep him, so it sounds like he's listening. But we'll see what happens at the end of the week because they got till I think Friday to opt out or opt in. And James Harden, by the way, I think this was during the press conference after he won the MVP or something like that. He was saying that he don't think that they need LeBron. They were so close to doing without him, and he was like, if Chris Paul didn't get hurt, they would have won. Now I don't know, like if Chris Paul would have stayed healthy, they may have won. They may have won.
That's not for sure, but if they have LeBron, then they win.
Right. If they have LeBron, then
they win.
That team is going to be like LeBron, Harden, and Chris Paul all healthy at the same time. And
they will be Golden State
after what they just did I think that they have a very very high chance of being. I wouldn't even say it's definitely
Yo, that
still,
not
but I
only
think that they
yo,
will.
not only do I believe that they will beat them, I think they'll sweep them.
Oh, nah, no way,
I think they'll sweep
no
them.
way. But
I think that the three of them
I
will
would still
sweep
it would
them.
still go seven. But I think having LeBron would be the edge they need. Um,
All right, real quick, we're gonna switch around to football. Um, I'm going to. This wasn't covered by us, but it happened just today. They found a dead body in Janoris Jenkins' house.
what?
Yeah, they found the police searched his house, and he's not at his house at the time. Janoris Jenkins is the cornerback plays for the New York Giants. I just broke it. I was going as I was going home to work from work. I said, "Wow." I hope he didn't kill
Holy
somebody, but
shit!
yeah, they found a dead body at his house. So yeah.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. I want to go read that story. But damn, that's crazy. But I was about to shift to football because one of the stories this weekend about Brett Favre wants the government to legislate getting rid of tackle football from
He's
ages
a
I think
goddamn Democrat.
from
Fuck him
ages
now. Fuck
from ages I think 10 under age 12 they or something like that, or under age 14 or something like that. Which which me personally, I don't think it's a terrible idea. Your brain is still developing when you're that young. If you're taking hits and stuff like that, that can't be necessarily good for you. So, I mean, I don't know what the stats say about all that. To me, on the surface, it sounds like a good idea. What do you think?
um, I'm kind of against it. Kids need to learn how to tackle. That's number one. If you drill it in them so they uh, tackle correctly at a young age, then you won't have these problems later on in life. Like that's why I think they should learn proper technique, so where they're not leading with the crown of their helmet and they're not going, you know, rocket launching themselves in the guy's helmet. So I think they should learn it at a young age. I'm a little bit opposed to it. I understand, but I'm opposed to it. I think that it's the perfect opportunity to teach kids how to tackle.
Mm. Yeah,
So
that's a good point. Like that's like I didn't look at it that way. Yeah, that's a good point. Like if they start teaching them the correct way from the beginning. Now the question is, what is the correct way? Because I mean there's now because you can't now see here's the thing, you can't totally avoid everything. So I guess that's part of the reason why they do it that way. Like I mean they want to do it that way is because you really can't like because even in teaching them the right way, taking a lot of major hits at that age could still happen. You know what I mean? It could still happen. And look again, like I said, I don't know the stats to this. I'm not even gonna pretend to know, but like what I've also heard over the years is with football, believe it or not, they say it's more of a sport where you could start that late and still and still learn what you need to learn. Like, and I've been hearing this the past couple of years, and this has nothing to do with the concussion thing or the tackle thing. This is just like, from what I hear, is like it's one of the sports where a lot of players start like actually start their like junior year and turn out to be really good or whatever. So there might be just freaks of nature. I don't know. I don't know if everybody can do that. But I've heard a lot, stories of players that like, yeah, I just started playing football when I was a junior, and here I am getting drafted in the first round. Like I've been hearing, like I hear a lot of those stories more the past 3 years or so. So I'm like, maybe basketball, football is a sport where, and it all depends on the sport. Unless you're a quarterback, I think a quarterback, you kind of got to be doing that for a while. But every just about every other position, I think you could start it late and still be good at it if you're an athlete. You know what I mean? If you're a natural athlete. Um, like certain other sports, I don't think you can necessarily do that in basketball or baseball. Definitely not baseball. Baseball, hitting that baseball, you gotta be good at that. Like you gotta that takes a lot of practice. I think soccer is another one of those sports where you can kind of pick it up and play. You still got to be good because some of these guys are really damn good. But but I think that's one other sport where you can kind of start that late also. But I don't know. I mean, I guess the only way to know for sure is if they tried it and see. But I just don't know how many injuries are happening at that young age. I mean, because we don't know. The problem is there's so much we don't know because there's a lot of like you don't know how bad like how somebody's brain is until they're dead. You know what I mean? Until they go and see like this guy suffered from CTE. Who knows how long though? Like it could have just happened when they was in the pros. Might not have been it might not have been happening when they were in youth football. You know what I mean? It could have just started happening when they started getting hit by grown ass men. So we just don't know. We just don't know how bad it is, and we may never know. Like I mean, I'm sure one day we'll know. I mean, what technology is, but I don't know. Just I'm still not against it. You know, it's worth a try. If it doesn't work, you can always change it back. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something worth looking at, I guess. I mean, would I let my child play football? Absolutely.
Mm.
Oh, I'd be out there all the time. But
Yeah, it's crazy how
it, what,
many. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, it is what it is. Go ahead.
It's crazy how many ex football players say like, I don't want my kids not gonna play. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that if my kid wants to play, I let him play. I'm not gonna stop my kid doing anything that he wants to do. If I had a kid, like it would just be, if that's what you want to do, then do it. Like now, if even if you got like unless you got like a serious injury or something where it's like, all right, you're done. Um, kids get hurt, kids do stuff. If that's what they want to do, though, you let them, let them be what they want to be. Now, there's another topic that you wanted to talk about, another football topic, about Michael Vick. You were posing the question: is he a Hall of Famer? And I never really thought about it. Like, is he a Hall of Famer? I'm not sure. What do you think?
Um, as of right now, I don't think so. But there's a lot of things that make him a Hall of Famer, except for his numbers and his accomplishments. The only accomplishment that I can think of, especially the fact that he went to jail, so that's going to keep him out
Yeah,
right
that
there.
certainly hurts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, otherwise, he probably sneaks in. But as for being the first black quarterback ever chosen number one overall, that was a big accomplishment. Uh, but number two, like he never did anything with it. You know what I'm saying? Like he had those times where like you see those Michael Vick plays where he would run his ass off and score or something like that. But he wasn't really a good quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like um, his first mentality was to go, and he was kind of like Allen Iverson. Matter of fact, they're from the same town too, and the fact that he would just throw himself at people, and that's what they would hit the shit out of him, and like it hurt him.
Right.
So like I can't give it to him off of that, but he's the first quarterback. There's another accomplishment that puts him in. He's the first quarterback over 1,000 yards in the season,
Yeah.
rushing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It, uh, this is a lot of things that make him almost a quarter eligible to be a Hall of Famer just based on history alone.
Right. Right.
It's based on historical fact. A lot of guys in the league already bypassed him several times.
Right,
Like Cam Newton.
but it's because but a lot of that stuff was because of him. Like he was an amazing dude. Like it's like yeah. If I had to say Hall of Fame, I say no. I would say he's not a Hall of Famer, but it is. But if he like you said, he could have possibly snuck in, but. Yeah, I think the going to jail thing for the dog fighting things definitely, like if that didn't happen, then there'll be an argument for him for sure. But they're not gonna. Yeah, that's just not. That was a big thing.
That's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like people love those dogs too
Yeah,
much, and people would still like protest outside the.
yeah. Yeah, when after he did his time, they still didn't want him to play.
I guess your cat doesn't give a shit about that, but
Yeah, well, as far as audience knows, there's no cat. But I didn't even
yeah.
know he just bumped into me. I'm like, yo, what is that? um, but yeah, like, yeah, man, I get it. You know
Plus
what I mean?
what he did for the Eagles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he had that great game. People still point out that great game he had. I forgot who he was even against, but I know he had a really, really good game where he was just throwing touchdowns left and right, and that was the type of player that he was supposed to have been. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that. That was the type of player that we should have got when we got Michael Vick.
yeah.
But it never happened. He got opportunity after opportunity. I hope that he's doing good now with his with those $200 million contracts that he got.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. Well, I think he works for Fox now, Fox Sports. I know he's on there a lot. I don't know if he's an official employee there, but I know he's. I don't know, during the football season he was on Colin Cowherd's show a lot. He was on all the sports shows a lot. So I don't know if they ever hired him for anything, but I think that's what he was building up for to get a job there. So I don't know if they ever hired him or not. But and he's pretty good at. He's okay at it. You know what I mean? He's decent. He still has room for improvement or whatever, and but I still root for him. I like him. You know what I mean? and
Yeah, yeah, I still root for him too, but no, I also root for Ron Mexico.
Ron Mexico,
Did you hear about the Ron Mexico thing?
no.
Okay, for anyone who wants to look up Ron Mexico, that's Michael Vick. He used to check into. He got sued by a woman years ago because he knowingly gave her herpes.
Right. I
Okay,
remember that.
and so Michael Vick has herpes because you don't get rid of that; it goes stays for life, just like Usher.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope I won't get sued for this, but this is alleged. Okay, so apparently he would check into a hotel, and his surname would be Ron Mexico. He'll go under that name. So that's why when you would go to games, you would see guys with Michael Vick jersey have Mexico in the back.
I never
So
saw that.
yeah, I used to see that, especially in Philly. But yeah, like that's a thing.
Ron
and,
Mexico.
yeah, and go look it up. I'm not making this up. I don't lie. I'm not exaggerating. That actually happened.
Wow, I do gotta look that up now. Ron Mexico. Um, All right. One more last thing. I just want to touch on the Big Three started. I like to watch it. I'm a fan of it.
It's
Um,
got thugs. They got thugs playing that
yeah,
game.
they
That's
got
what I
all of the
like.
hardcore ballers in there. Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, Rashawn McCants. All these cats is
Nate
just
Robinson.
Nate Robinson, Kenyon Martin. They like um the team that went undefeated last year lost their first game thanks to Nate Robinson, who it seemed like he was having a good game, but it turns out he only had the big three pointer at the end.
Yeah,
And I saw him
yeah.
trying to throw the Joker mask, Rashawn McCants mask in the crowd, and he grabbed it before he did. but
Yeah, Rashad McCants wanted to fight him.
yeah.
It didn't seem like Rashad McCants was that type of dude when he was playing, but now all of a sudden he's a thug. So I'm like,
Yeah, he was.
okay.
Yeah, he was like that last year a little bit in the league, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I barely knew who he was. Like, I mean, I knew who he was, but like he didn't do much in the league. So, um, but yeah, I like the big three. It's fun to watch. I want to see. I'm disappointed that Iverson never because he was in it the first year, but he didn't play much. He was like a player coach, and he was the same old
He's such a
slacker. He's just like the
disappointment.
same old slacker that he's always been.
Yeah, like he's such a disappointment. It's
Yeah,
just like Iverson. Oh man, like we're gonna go over. We already went over our top shooting guards. You put him in your.
yeah. I
I
put him
can't
in my
put him in
shooting guard.
that.
Yeah,
You did? You didn't?
I put him in my shooting guard. Yeah.
Yeah, like I couldn't do that because I just like in this era he's a point guard. In this era right here, he is a point guard.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So um, he just I don't know, man. It just seems like he could have did a lot more with his
right.
career,
He
but
definitely leaves a big empty space. There's a lot of game that he left out that he did not fulfill. Like we wanted to see. I want to see more Iverson, but I can't. You know what I mean? Like I want to see more of Iverson when he was with Philly, but you just can't see it. Like it just never turned out the way it should have, and it's a shame. Like I feel like
yeah, it's a
I
shame.
feel like
Like
we
he
missed him.
never got that. He got the MVP, but he never got that ring.
Yeah, and it feels like he
Uh,
just never did everything he was supposed to do in the league. It's a
yeah,
shame.
Yeah, he was like a Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice. He was like a Jerry West,
Mm.
except he couldn't. He could shoot. He can pretty much do everything.
Yeah, I mean he was an inconsistent shooter too, but he's streaky. He's streaky. He's a streaky jump shooter.
He was going to the basket. There was no one. You could stop him if you knocked the shit out of him. You
Right.
could stop him.
He'll still make the
you
shot.
know,
He'll still make the shot.
you know, if you try to play regular defense on him, he's gonna make that shot. It doesn't matter if you dive dead to rights.
You definitely can't stay in front of him.
He would dip it in the air, and that's it. Like it'll just seem so easy for him.
Yeah, it's a shame. He's an all time great, but he could have been even greater. He could have been even greater.
Who do you compare him to now? Like, is he like Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, that's exactly who I compare him to, Kyrie Irving. Like his handle and his excitement that he brings. And I really hope Kyrie Irving can have a healthy career, because he's one of the greatest ball handlers. like he and finisher. Like he's Iverson. Like he's Iverson. He's a better shooting Iverson.
Except the stupid motherfucker thinks the world is flat, and that's why I said it, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's that, but somebody said he was just trolling or something. I hope that's true, but
I really do hope it's true too, because Dude went to Duke,
yeah,
and I would think that motherfuckers who went to Duke who know exactly what they're talking about, but it's stupid motherfucker. Oh,
all right, we're about like an hour and 20 minutes in. It's time to cut this shit off.
Yeah, I think it is. All right. All right. So that's it for this week. Next week we're gonna come in. We're gonna talk about the NFL because it's almost around that time. It's almost that time, and I'm getting the itch. I want to watch some football.
I know. Me too. I'm getting that itch too.
I sat here and watched arena football the other day with Johnny Manziel.
Wow. Oh yeah, I heard he's doing okay over there too. So
yeah, he plays for Hamilton Bearcats. All right, I know exactly what he plays for. All right.
Damn, okay.
So all right. So next week,
much.
I know. Next week is a little bit of football, and I think we're going to do another list. I'm not sure what that list will be. Maybe we'll do the top 10 quarterbacks of all fucking our generation.
Okay.
Well, that'd be of all time too. All right, because
we've seen them all. Like we've seen all the very best.
The only ones we haven't seen are Joe Namath and
Roger Staubach and
the dude with the fucking yeah. We haven't seen those, but those guys aren't the top 10 of all time.
Right.
They're not.
They're probably just out of that. They're probably like 11, 12, and 13 now. But like, yeah, the very best top 10 are in the 90s and the 2000s. Like we've seen them all.
and the very best is still playing right now. Yeah,
we've seen them. Yep, that's true. We've seen the very best. So I'm happy to say that. But all right, y'all. See y'all next week.
See you next week. Bye. Fuck out of here.